Hey folks, Steve here with a special check-in video for you today. Just wanted to do something quick to just do a general check-in. Won't be very long, I imagine, but just to let folks know how I'm doing. Because I've been both distant and present. I've been cranking out the Nations in Arms videos recently and have finished up the game, and there it sits back there on the shelf, having been very well played at this point. I really feel like I've played that game quite a lot. And it's funny looking back that the process of playing that, the introduction video that I started with, was last year in the fall. So it's not been quite a year since I played that, but it's been a very long time, and I've had that game set up for quite a while. And having my two big 8 foot long tables dedicated to just that game has kind of been an interesting ride. It took a while to really to get through it all, with various stops and starts and deprioritizing that from many other things, not the least of which being graduate school and working on that. And I'm glad to be finishing that up. And it's just really weird to look at my table and see it being completely empty like that. It's been a long time since I've had it that way. So a couple of things, since it's nearly the midpoint of the year. There's a lot of publisher updates that I've not talked about. There's a lot of games that I've gotten that we have seen some of the unboxing videos for, which has been cool. It's hard to talk about any of that. I feel like I'm behind the times on many things. I will say that my involvement in the CSR awards has gone reasonably well, and the ballots are open for the CSR awards. So go vote. You can go. I could probably find the link and put that in the description somewhere. But go look that up. Charles S. Roberts Award for conflict simulation, and you'll find your way there. And Hardwolf has been putting the link in various places. You will not be able to miss it if you look hard enough. So go vote, go do the thing. I was involved in the nomination committee selection. I don't know if that means I should vote or not, because I feel like my vote has already been incorporated into the process. So I don't know about that, if I should vote or not, but I guess I could. But again, I've already felt like I've had input into that system. So something quietly going on in the background is involvement there, and a lot of great games on the docket to be voted for. So please check that out. Otherwise, I am happy to say that I am effectively done with graduate school as of this week. So that is finished up. Basically, the ceremony stuff is what remains, and well, I'm done. So a big time drag of mine for the last year is going to be going away, and that could mean a lot more gaming, a lot more table coverage here on the channel, and more videos to come over time from that. So I definitely look forward to doing that. Some of that may take different shapes. So, a big challenge with grad school was actually the impact to family life. So time with my wife, time with my daughter, and so this free time that I'm getting back that was dedicated to schoolwork is actually going to be going primarily to family, as it should, right? Family over everything, and so that's going to be, um, priority number one. But there will be opportunities for more gaming than I've had for the last year, despite still being able to do some when I can find the time. The other thing that may change is more coverage of games that I am playing opposed, because of the Origins game table that we have set up as our new dinner table. Um, it is one of the fancy tables that has the top that you can take off and play in the gaming space underneath the top of the table. And when you're done, or while you have a game set up in there, you can put the top of the table back on it, and put your tablecloth on and eat dinner or do the whole thing. So that's going to open up some possibilities of doing opposed games, maybe more card-driven games, because my wife does like to play those with me. We like that type as an opposed game playing together. where I tend to do the hex and counter stuff solitaire because she's less interested in those. So more videos of that type may be coming, and will provide some coverage of games that I've certainly played quite a bit of, but I've not done videos on the channel because, well, they're not games that I'm playing on camera. So that could be the beginning of some change for the channel. I think a good change, because everything I do otherwise is solitaire, and that's really one way of enjoying a game. There are many others. Um, in terms of the look ahead, though, I do find that I have many games on my shelf that have not been properly played and need to be properly played, and I'm certainly going to be making some very concerted efforts to do that. Now, it's going to take different shapes for a while. I think when I look at Nations in Arms and how big of an undertaking that was, I didn't have to play every scenario, but I certainly chose to, because I'm also a Napoleonics guy. I like Napoleonics, so to me that was keen and good to go. I'm still going to look at some games that won't take a huge amount of time to set up, to play, to give an assessment of. Um, because I guess after one very long game, I think I want to have a few snappier games that won't take nearly as long to play and enjoy, and then I get a little bit of that spice of variety. Now I have my eye on several different things. One in particular, uh, over there, technically having the record for longest game set up on a game table in here, off over there, is the Reluctant Enemies Operation Exporter OCS. That has sat there undisturbed, set up for probably a full year, which is wild to think about, but you need to understand my life. Um, so we're going to go play that. I think that's going to be one thing we will get to, even if I'm also playing other things at the same time. Maybe I play a shorter game. We get a battle oriented game onto the table where I can play a single battle, and that plays pretty quick, and then I can move back over to Reluctant Enemies and work our way through that. So we're definitely going to do that. That's another table that I'd like to be able to say we cleared by playing the game on it, and getting some real OCS action onto the channel, besides what we did at Game On earlier this year. And then I also have a very strong desire to cover the great campaigns of the American Civil War. I have a number of those games now that I've picked some of them up. I did play one scenario off camera to get a feel for the system, and I was pretty pleased with that. So I'd really like to get at least one of those on the table. This is convenient given that On to Richmond 2 is going to be shipping from MMP any day now, and I expect to get my copy very soon, and that'll just mean even more GCA CW that I could be playing. So those are two obvious areas I want to focus in on. I'd also like to lean very hard into the Library of Napoleonic Battles. It feels a little odd to be jumping back right into more Napoleonics after Nations in Arms, but I've been itching to get some of those games to the table and to learn the system, and learn the ins and outs, and I've just not done nearly enough of that. I would also like to do some BCS. So as you can tell, I have a laundry list of things I really would like to get to and play and enjoy. That's going to take different shapes over time. I think Last 100 Yards coverage would be interesting, because I've got several titles in that. I've played around with that off camera. I do like it, but I got to understand it a bit better before I do more on camera with it. Plus, we're going to be getting the Russian front expansion, which, or I don't know if it's a standalone or expansion, but that will probably be a joy to have on the table. So, point is, there's a lot of cool stuff that I would like to get to here in the very near future. I'll certainly have more capability to do that. It will help that some of those games ought to be a bit faster playing than a lot of what we've been dealing with recently. So that's a benefit. Um, and before and one more big one to add to the list, Battles of the American Revolution. That's another one I really wanted to get onto the channel, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So there's several of these bouncing around on my list that do have a priority, that I really do want to get to ahead of other games. So that's probably going to be what we start to see happen. I may bounce around a little bit and try out different things, but plenty of good gaming to come. I may have to figure out my lighting situation for the OCS because while it looks okay from here, when I get the camera over there, it's just not quite as bright as the middle of the room with the way the lighting is in this particular room. So I might have to deal with that a little bit. So lots of things to come, guys, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to do more and to play more this summer. I'm also expecting more games to arrive. There's various things I'm kind of expecting to show up that will be plenty interesting across the board. So strap in, folks. It'll be good. I can't promise it'll come out fast, but we're certainly going to be making some good progress into some new game content for the channel, stuff that has really deserved to be here sooner. But boy, life has had other priorities for me. Some of those are in the past. We're ready to move forward. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was just nice for you to hear how I'm doing and so doing better. School is ending. Life is looking a bit brighter because let me tell you, it is hard to get through all the stuff I was going through to get to the end of that road, and it's been tough. But I'm coming out of it, and we're on a good track. So I appreciate the folks who've been sticking around and watching, who've been leaving comments. I know the Nations in Arms stuff has probably gone on very long for people, and they're ready to see other stuff and not watching every video. Those who stuck around, thank you. For those who are waiting for other stuff, I hope you're going to enjoy what's coming down the pipeline, and we'll see you there. So take care, guys. Thank you again. Hope you continue to enjoy the channel and keep on gaming.